Hey, welcome back to the Underground Treehouse. It's Guy Show, and I'm your host, Big Kenney. Now, I'm sitting here with my good friend and the renowned and astute Dr. Marion Christopher Pugh, the consultant for Manhood Mindset. Now, before we go further, I would like for Dr. Pugh to tell us something about Manhood Mindset.
Manhood Mindset, and thank you for that question. Manhood Mindset actually started when I was advising students and through their undergraduate organizations. I did a lot of mentoring for men and women, boys and girls in K through 12 and in the college arena, right? But Manhood Mindset actually started to complement the initiative of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. They had a Brother You On My Mind initiative when they talked about, they wanted to explore the mental health journey for men. Say, hey brother, are you okay? We were trying to make sure we were okay from all the stresses of being a man in our society. And so we took that as an initiative, and I said, you know what, I might as well, if we're talking about mindsets and we're talking about Brother You On My Mind, and we are looking at what is happening to manhood, especially in my point of view, I wanted to create something called Manhood Mindset. So it started off as a radio show. And honestly, before it was a radio show, it started off in my office at the university I was working with. It was a free place where students, men and women, would just come in and just try to see what was on not only their mind, but they wanted to see what's on my mind too. Right. They came to see what I thought about certain situations. And Manhood Mindset is not necessarily something I'm trying to create. It's something that I'm trying to share. It was men and women who either didn't have a father in the home, or they had a father in the home and that father was going through so much that they couldn't express themselves verbally. So Manhood Mindset was something, it was an initiative that started off as a mental health initiative, and then it grew to a radio show, and it grew into a business. So right now I do consulting for K through 12 institutions, school districts, universities, religious organizations. I specialize in social and emotional learning, conflict resolution, and right now I'm doing COVID relief for a lot of universities and schools, for a lot of the students who were not necessarily in schools. And I talk about the male and female dynamic in our education system, and a lot of people may not understand this, and I'll explain it if people need it. But our education system is extremely lopsided. It's not a lot of men in our education system, and a lot of the boys are being sent to alternative schools because manhood or maleness or masculinity is seen as a threat in our education system in the United States. And the education system is directly linked to our prison system. And so that's the reason why I named it Manhood Mindset, not necessarily to say who it's not for, but I've been seeing this for years, that people saying there's not enough men in the home and the schools. Here you go. So that's where it came from.
And each time I see men advocating for other men, each time I am made aware of a resource or a avenue for some man to seek assistance, I start to again go back to what happened to where we even have to talk about what being a man entails. You say the manhood mindset. It used to be considered a standard.
Right.
We see now, I know that one of the things that concerns me is a lot of men seem to want to shy away from or reject the traditional roles and values that men are, that used to identify us as guys. I see media outlets and different platforms encouraging women to think like men and behave like guys.
Oh, yes,
and you see a lot of those kinds of things. What is the push? What is the agenda that has the world so anxious to have people outside of men tell men who and what we should be, and what makes men so quick to want to relinquish that power?
You said the key word, power. Now, as soon as power goes into the equation. You're going to have people who may not understand power and the people who understand it and are willing to abuse it. There are not that many people, and I'm not going to say that no one exists, but there's a few people who know exactly what to do with that power to the point where they don't abuse it, right? And a lot of us, all of us, equate manhood with power. That's the reason why every time when someone has a talking point, they mention men, right? When I was growing up, I heard this question, who's the man? Right. Or, there go the man right there.
Right.
So I said, if he's the man or that person's the man, then what is everybody else? Well, they were talking about the man is the one who had authority in that situation.
Right.
Right. So when I get pulled over on someone, I don't care if it's a person who has state authority or just street authority. That authority at that point, he the man.
Right.
Right. Because I've been robbed before.
Right.
I'm not trying to prove my manhood at the point.
You got it.
You understand what I'm saying?
You the man, bro.
You the man.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So when it comes down to manhood, I think what was extremely important for us to question, I'm glad that you asked that question, is manhood only related to someone, war culture, men were expected to go and take things in order to establish a new whatever environment, kingdom, society, whatever for someone else at the expense of killing other men. Remember, in war culture, that means some men are going to die, guaranteed, right? So now when it comes down to manhood, does that mean other men have to die? Are all men created necessarily? All men may be created equal, but at the end of warfare, there's no equality. It's either survival or you didn't survive. So what it comes down to manhood, power, the ability to take life, and the ability to create life as well. But it's more than just your biological assignment. That manhood is so unique and it has so many different levels to it. But if we don't understand the word that you use, and I'm glad that you said, how do we handle that? Power? We have to really start asking who has authority.
And why are we so willing to relinquish that
out
power?
Of fear. Out of fear.
Out of fear of survival with our women.
Everywhere.
Because I know that there has to be, if we Googled it, 10 articles instantly on how to be a man, how to be a more effective man. And none of these articles are authored by men or males.
Right.
Men will read these articles and apply those principles. Why? Why would you allow a female? And I'm not saying that women don't know what they're doing. I think women be smart a lot. You know what I mean?
Women are brilliant.
A bunch of times. They be brilliant a bunch.
Yeah, but women are women though.
And I'm saying, well, and I don't want to even put it on women. I wouldn't allow a 12-year-old to tell me how to be an adult. I wouldn't allow an unlicensed person to tell me how to drive.